Hey traders, what's going on? Jamie Saettele here. It is August 28th, or probably the 29th where you are right now. Late video here. I'm getting this post out late, but getting it out nonetheless. And we are going to be looking at gold. Want to do the update. I think a lot of, maybe we can have a lot of understanding of maybe various markets positions, uh, based on what's going on with gold right now. So back on August 13th, right, we had looked at um, the mirror image of the crash back in 2013. Okay, and if we update that, has us here. Now these things are never perfect, okay, but the idea remains the same that I think we could be up, towards really 1500 or so. At least that's a possibility. Um, in the next 2 weeks. I should say not in the next 2 weeks, but in 2 weeks, if this were to continue to play out. And in this case, an analog, right? It's not never is perfect. It's just kind of it shows you a possibility. And in this case, it makes some sense when you look at price action. So I want to go to the CFD. The prices will be a little different, but let's just look at the price action right now. So if we scroll out and look at the channel on log scale. So on log scale, you've got price today testing that trend line. That's very important. This is the 2011-2012 trend line on log scale. So we are testing that line now, and if we look at the fork that starts back at the November 2014 low, we're witnessing a test of that median line, which is important, especially because we've traded around it before. Okay, it was resistance back in April. We came off hard. It was, close to resistance in June, came off hard again, and here we are right back at that level. So median line, acceleration, as we've talked about many times in the swing updates, is a real thing. And if you're going to go absolutely nuts and go up a couple $100 from here, this would be the place to do it. So, again, that analog suggests that it's not going to be now, that we might actually pause for a little bit, right? Maybe even a week, trade sideways. But I'm not, I have no desire to try to trade this from the short side, put it that way, considering that we just had all the sideways trade really from 8:10 on, and then last Friday we had that massive stop out on the downside, and then have followed through here on Monday, and then in very early Tuesday trading and Asian trading. So if we look at this on an even shorter term basis, you're looking at the same fork. This is now a 4-hour bar chart. And we've got this magenta parallel here just below the median line. I want to show this because I want to highlight it because you can see all the important action, all the important lows back here. This is all the way back in early 2016. This is a low back in October of 2016. And then just recently, last week actually, we spiked up into that level on 8/18. All right. So if you do get any sort of a pause or a spike lower, or whatever, these market spikes don't seem to be all that rare. But you can, look at 1300, I would say, as a major support area, right? We had 1325, I believe there's 1325. We'll be right back here on 813. 1325 is the big test on the upside, yes? Okay, well, today's high just a couple hours ago was 1324 and change. So if you do get any sort of a pause, pullback, whether it's tomorrow or the next few days, I would look for that 1300 to hold, to basically say that we're still in this massive blow off potential for gold. Now, obviously, this is going to have major implications um, for other markets, Japanese yen being the obvious one. So I'm going to leave the video here concentrated on gold. We'll take a quick look at silver, but keep this in mind as we're looking at the yen moving forward. So here's the silver market. Again, we did have another comparison with silver. It's actually a bit longer term in nature. If you read back, I think it's also in the 813 post. Yes, it is. It's talking about the 200-week average and the fact that we could blow through that and, kind of really, you know, get the market moving towards a massive bull move. And it does seem to be, still on track. So this is a bit longer term again than gold. Gold's, kind of get a little more nitty gritty with gold, but silver still important. It's an important break. As you can see, this is a trend line. It's an extended parallel, okay, on gold, on silver, which crossed off the July 2016 high. So it was resistance back in April of this year, and we are now above it here intra-week. All right, so with silver, we are testing a shorter term trend line, again, 4-hour bar chart, just July 2016 high, April 2017 high. We just tested that. This is log. We just tested it. You can see here coming off a little bit. I would look for essentially 1730 to provide support if you come off in silver. Silver is notorious for, spikes, but I would watch 1730 for support. It's also a parallel here. As you can see, that parallel was resistance back on 821. So that is just a quick look at the metals. I think it's probably the most important market to look at right now. Obviously, the S&P, we've looked at that a number of times. We looked at it just last week in one of the posts, and we had it, kind of finding resistance again where it should, the underside of that median line. But pay attention to gold and to a lesser extent silver. Okay, so 1300, the big level in gold. I think it's a possibility that you could be at 1500 plus in gold in 2 weeks. All right, we'll look at things through that lens for a little bit, at least as long as it holds true. And good luck. Take care.